Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to install Kee Bass by Martinic. You'll first want to head over to martinic.com, and then once you're here, you'll go to the top right and select Products. Now you'll scroll down and find Kee Bass. You'll see it's free. Select it, and then click on Claim Your Free License, and it'll take you to the bottom of the page. You'll select Order Now over here, and then enter your information so you may get the code. It'll take you to this screen in which you'll click Download Now for the license file for Kee Bass. Once you download that, you may hit Continue, and then you'll download the actual Kee Bass plugin itself over here. So I'll select Download for Windows because I have a Windows computer. Save file, and you'll see up here it'll download. Then you'll select the installer for Kee Bass. Allow it to run. Then hit Next. You'll want to read this, hit Agree. You'll select which versions of the plugin you want. I personally will not use a 32-bit. You want to select a license file so that you can register Kee Bass, not as the free trial, but as the full version with the license key you just downloaded. Hit Next. You want to install it in a plugins folder, so what I'd recommend is create a folder for all of your plugins and then install Kee Bass into that folder. I personally have one, it's right here. I already have it installed, so that's why it shows up like this. I'll select Next. Next. Now the installer should have automatically showed the license key file here, but if for some reason this directory does not show up, you want to hit Browse and then find the license key you installed and then select it. Once you're done with all that, you'll hit Install. I already have it installed, so I'll skip this step and I'll show you how to open it in Reaper. So now that we're in Reaper, I can double click anywhere in this gray space to create a new track. Select one of the rectangles at the top and search Kee Bass. Now, when you open Reaper, it automatically searches your computer for any new plugins you have installed, so this should pop up here. I can open it. I'm going to change the input to this track to MIDI so that I can play my keyboard into Kee Bass. Turn on record monitoring, record arm. And now you can hear Kee Bass playing. Now up here at the top you can see these controls we have. We have a bass boosting lever, just basically a volume knob. We have two tonality buttons, so we have mellow or bright. This is mellow. Very low, rounded tone. Bright will add some bite to the end of the sound. I can turn on fuzz. Just a little distortion pedal, attenuates the bass, but emphasizes the mid-range. Now we have this sustain or percussive mode. So it's on sustain right now, which means if I hold a note, it will play until I let go. But if I turn it on percussive, it will become a pluck. And this last button here will change the rate at which the note decays. So if I turn it on to fast, you can hear it decays very fast. If I turn it back to slow, it's a much slower decay. And this is just a bypass knob, but turn it off, no sound will come out of the plugin. Turn it on, sound. Okay, well, let me show you the MIDI learn control, so I can press this. And any of these purple things I can click on. So let's, how about the mellow or bright button? I can then move a control on my MIDI keyboard, so I have a knob. And it'll assign that control to the knob on my MIDI keyboard. So let me deselect MIDI learn. And then if I move my knob to the right, it'll make the tone brighter. If I turn it down, it'll go back to mellow. It's very cool for live performing. Now let's head on over to the settings menu. Now these settings at the top are all the things we saw here on the front, minus this level knob. So this is just a master volume, except it actually changes the tonality. It adds like an analog distortion if you overdrive it. So it's not just a simple volume knob, which is very neat. Here we have a MIDI control panel. We can make it polyphonic so we can play multiple notes at once. Make it monophonic. We'll only play one note, even if we play multiple at the same time. We have a priority knob. a velocity control, so you can change the volume based on how hard you press a MIDI note. An octave knob, you can change the octave we're playing in. This hold knob is basically a sustain pedal. It'll sustain indefinitely. Here you have an amplitude envelope control, so you can control the attack, decay of the sound, or a retrig. Low pass filter we can enable. Change your cutoff and resonance settings. Actually, I'll keep this on because over here we have filter modulator. I'll change it to an LFO. Or turn the LFO on, excuse me. Change the rate. You can hear it modulate the slow pass filter. Very cool. And down here we can basically tune various notes. So A. I can turn up. You can get some pretty cool effects out of this. Whether they be creepy or just maybe more analog feel with aging equipment perhaps going out of tune. Just give your keys more character. Alright, now that we've gone over these settings, we can go over presets that come with Kee Bass. Up here, you can select this drop-down menu. It's titled Default when you open, but we can select any of these presets. So let's choose Monophobic Imbalance. Kind of like what we had last time. So you can see all these keys are tuned. Gives it a nice little character. You can tell there's less bass, more mids. Let's try synth bass. See, there's yeah, you can hear that envelope for the low pass filter. Let's try glockenspiel. Nice soft round tone. Ooh, it's distorting slightly. Let's try dark strings. It's a nice little patch. Try one more ad-lib lead. You can hear that filter modulation envelope again. Alright. So now that we've gone over Kee Bass, I would like to show you another plugin by Martinic titled Lem Echo. Hold on. Just typed that in wrong the first time. Alright, so this is like a delay / reverb plugin, but it has more controls than just delay and reverb settings. So here, let me show you. These both are actually the same menu. Just they look slightly different. I'll go over this menu for simplicity's sake. So on the left side we have left stereo field controls. On the right side we have right stereo field controls. We can pan the left sound over to the right or middle, pan the right to the left. We have a master volume control here. Have a reverb mix knob here. Here, put a little bit of reverb on, or we can put a lot. Keep that at 0 for now. We have EQ controls for each side of the stereo field, so we can change the bass. Turn up the treble. Both sides. Turn down the bass. You can double click the controls to reset them to their default position. Here we have just the delay wet mix knob. Here there's no delay. Here you can tell there's a lot of delay. The stereo button, so we can make the sound mono or stereo. Our signal is mono, so this doesn't really affect the sound. Except for the delay, which could be going into the stereo field. Here we have a tape knob, which will change the tonality of the delays. So let's turn up the mix and then you can hear me change the tonality of the delay taps. That's like a detuning effect to them. Here, repeat, this is actually delay feedback control, so if we turn this up, you can hear it'll echo out longer, but if we turn this down, the delays will just play once. And these volume recording delay knobs will change the volume of the delay in each side of the stereo field, so you can tell. You can hear the delay more on the left side already. Oh, whoops, I'm changing the echo knob, my bad. We can go to the right side, turn up the delay. You can hear it more so on the right. You can also see it in the mixer insert down here. And right in the center of the plugin is the actual delay tap settings. So we could turn off the delay entirely and nothing will come out. We turn it back on, you can hear all these delays. Now 1, 2, 3, these are called delay taps. So to demonstrate, I'll have just the third one enabled and you'll hear when I play a note. You can only hear that third tap, but if I have only one selected, here, I'll turn up the wet mix. You can hear very fast slapback delay. If you have all these on, it's almost like a reverb tail. You can turn on the feedback. It definitely becomes more so like a reverb tail because it just keeps repeating. I want to be careful with this repeat knob. If you turn it up past a certain point, the delay taps will just keep playing back and become infinitely louder. As you can see, it was just creeping up. I wonder if we can get it back up. No, I think the signal's dead. Well, all right. Now that we've gone over all these controls, I can show you some presets that come with this. So again, you come here to the drop down. It's set to default. Let's try Vintage Short. This is just a very short slapback delay. 284 BPM. You hear the feedback being turned up and you only have the second delay tap. It's nice. Let's try Runa Panther. You can hear how that adds the reverb control in. Attenuates some of the bass, even the treble. So this definitely makes it sound further away. And see the feedback is turned up as well. The last one, let's try Turbo Boost. Let's turn it off. Yeah, when you have that on and you play lower notes, you can definitely hear how it fattens up the sound. And you can see that the bass is turned up on both sides, along with the treble. It's almost like a sausage fattener effect. Just here when that's off, it sounds much thinner, weaker. Turn it off. Turn it on. It's just like a night and day difference. All right, and that's Lem Echo Music. Very nice little delay plugin, along with Kee Bass. Very cool analog style bass synthesizer. That's all I have to show you from Martinic. Again, if you want to get Kee Bass for free, it's currently free on martinic.com. Head on over there, you can get your free license. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day.